we come to a very important event in the history of Islam, that is the assault of confederates, Ghazwatul Ahzab, as it is known, or it is also known as Ghazwat al-Khandaq, the expedition of or the war of trench, because a trench was dug to stop Meccans to reach Medina. After the events of Uhud, the Arabian Peninsula experienced a period of calm and calmness and tranquility for a year. However, the Jews did not like it. They did not want people to live in peace. So they started a new stage of conspiracy and prepared themselves to deal a deadly blow to Muslims. 20 chiefs of them, with some celebrities of Banu Nadir, went to Makkah to negotiate an unholy alliance with Quraysh. 20 of Jews went to Makkah to just seek a kind of alliance with Quraysh.
Celebrities, you said?
Yeah, 20 chief and with some celebrities of Banu Nadir.
What type of celebrities? Like poets and?
Yes, I mean the people who were known, the one who were notable, the one who, as you said, poets and the speakers, and of course the people of high rank among the Jews. They went to Makkah and their intention was to make an alliance with Quraysh. They were determined to recover those celebrities belong to Banu Nadir, the land of whom were taken by Muslims. They were expelled from their area and their land and houses were taken. So they were determined to get it back. Their hopes were centered upon the preparation of Quraysh, who were trying to attack the Prophet. Quraysh wanted to finish Muslims in Medina. So far their attempts were not successful. So this time they wanted to launch a very fierce attack on Medina and under the leadership of Abu Sufyan, and they hoped that this will be successful. From the east came tribe of Banu Sulaim, Ghatfan, Banu Murrah and Ashja. Abu Sufyan from Makkah itself, under Abu Sufyan there were 4,000 people, and then from the east, that is the area of Najd, came all these tribes, Banu Sulaim, Ghatfan, Banu Murrah and Ashja. Banu Ghatfan were promised a third. Banu Ghatfan were promised half of the date harvest of Khaybar if they would join the confederacy. A great army was prepared. The number of soldiers 10,000, outnumbering the whole population of Medina, including children and women as well. Such a huge army was never seen in Arabia. 10,000 for the first time. All they are intent to defeat Muslim and crush the Islam and really to kill the Prophet. When the news reached Medina, the Prophet held a council and conducted a careful discussion of a plan to defend Medina. After a long talk between the people who were there, military leaders and people of reasoning, a suggestion by Salman al-Farsi, Salman the Persian, was accepted that a trench should be dug around Medina to stop Makkans from entering the city, because it was impossible for the only people the Prophet could gather together were 3,000. So, it was not possible for these 3,000 to meet 10,000 Makkans, including Bedouin and others. So, the best strategy will be to stop them outside Medina. So, Salman's suggestion was accepted by the Prophet ﷺ and work started. It was a time when the people did not have enough food, severe hunger, bordering on starvation could not stop them from doing their job. 40 yards was allocated to each people of 10. 10 people will dig 70 yards. It happened that the digger came at one time to a very big rock. All the implements failed to break it. The Prophet ﷺ was summoned, he was called, and he took a spear and hit the rock with it, and that rock became loose like dust. So, this was a kind of, you can say, miracle by the Prophet. Well, Allah made him do it.
We don't believe in miracles.
No, I mean it was not miracle, but of course the spiritual power and the power of Prophet did it. When Makkans came, they were surprised to find a kind of blockade which they never had experience of before. Nobody knew this tactic. So, they were stopped. This was 40 yards wide, no horse can jump, and they found themselves completely stunned with this strategy of war. They had to lay a siege around Medina, send their men to find out some weak point where they can enter, from where they can enter the city. It was very stressed situation for the Muslims, because they had to watch the terrain day and night. So, of course, it was very stressful work. The days passed and the strain became also very great upon them. The Prophet exhorted the believers and promised them the victory if they stood steadfast, and they were steadfast. They never showed any kind of weakness, any kind of weary, despite their tiredness from the strain of long watching, and of course the military activities were there. It made them tired, but they did not lose hope and they did not lose their faith in the Prophet. On the other side, Quraysh were also frustrated by this trench, by this situation, and wanted to cross the trench by any means. Ikramah, the son of Abu Jahl, noted that a narrow section was there and it was not very well guarded. So, 3 people made their horses leap the gap. 3 people made their horses leap the gap. One of them was Amr ibn Abdul Wadd, famous for his bravery. After an exchange of words, Ali came to meet him, and after an exchange of words, they started fighting, and they were covered completely by dust. Nobody knew what is going inside until Ali's sound came, Allahu Akbar. Then they knew that the fighting of these 2 people is over and Ali has killed the man. Then another person, Naufal, of Makhzum fell with his horse inside the trench. And the people from upside, Muslims, they started throwing a stone on him. And then he cried, say that, "O Arabs, death is better than this." I mean, this is, I mean, you kill me, it is better, rather to just throw a stone on me. So someone went down and killed him. On the other hand, Quraysh were frustrated by this situation and wanted to cross the trench by any means. Ikrimah noted that there was a narrow area and which was not very well guarded. So 3 people went with their horses, made their horses leap that narrow place. One of them, with the name of Amr ibn Abdul, famous for his bravery, was able to reach the other side. Ali came to meet him, and after an exchange of words and some conversation, they engaged with one another, fighting. But they were covered by dust. Nobody knew what is happening inside that dust, until at the end the sound of Ali came, Allahu Akbar. Then they knew that he has killed his opponent. Another person with the name of Nawfal from Banu Makhzum, he fell with his horse inside the trench, and then Muslims started throwing stones over him. Then he cried that, "O Arabs, death is better than this. What you are doing? I don't accept it. I want to die as a fighter." So someone went inside the trench and killed him. Again and again throughout the day, the enemy tried to force their way across, but they could not do it. During this kind of exchange of arrows, an arrow struck Sa'd ibn Muaz, which pierced his artery. He was badly injured, but he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to extend his life until the end of the war. He also begged Almighty to let him live until he had full revenge of Banu Qurayza. During this difficult situation, the Prophet and the companion missed 4 prayers, something which never happened before. It was very, very disturbing that he missed 4 prayers, and of course it was done later on. The Prophet was very much disturbed, worried, seeing big number of enemy surrounding Medina, and his people are suffering from the lack of food, and they were under big strain. He also was aware that the enemy as well felt the grip of hardship on their people. So he thought of making negotiation with one tribe, Ghatfan. The Bedouins, of course, they will be easily persuaded by greed. He wanted to offer 1/3 of the date harvest of Medina. But before doing this, he consulted 2 Sa'ds, Sa'd ibn Muaz and Sa'd ibn Ubadah. He invited them and said that this is what he is thinking, because he was so much worried. He wanted the enemy to go and save his people and save the city. They asked the messenger that whether it was an order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is so, then of course they cannot challenge it. But if it is by his opinion, by the Prophet's opinion, then they are not going to accept it. They said that in the pre-Islamic period, these people we did not allow them except as guests or in a trade. Now, when Allah has honored us with Islam, the best option is to put swords in them. No way we can agree to give them harvest of our crops. The Prophet said that it was only something for you. After I saw, the Arabs were shooting you with an arrow from unified bow. So Prophet was of course disturbed and he was worried and he wanted to do, but Ansar, the helpers, completely rejected the idea. Now in the midst of difficult circumstances, plotting and stratagem were in full action against Muslims. The leading culprit was the chief of Banu Nadir, Huyay ibn Akhtab. He went to Banu Qurayza. Remember, he is from Banu Nadir. He was expelled, but he came and went to Banu Qurayza and he spoke to his chief Ka'b ibn Asad, asked him to break the pact with Muhammad and join the army of Quraysh. But Ka'b was not willing, he resisted all the argument of Huyay ibn Akhtab. But at the end, Huyay was able to persuade him and dominate him and make him ready to break. Huyay promised Ka'b that he will stay with him in his fortress until the end of the war and support him in any case of eventuality. The renunciation of pact of Banu Qurayza did not remain hidden. It was known. When the Prophet was informed about it, he was very much concerned. He dispatched 4 notable Muslims, Sa'd ibn Mu'az, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, Abdullah ibn Rawaha and Khawat ibn Jubair, to find out what is the real situation. He told them not to put the Muslim army in panic. He said that if the news is true, they should inform the Prophet alone. But if it is not true, nothing is planned by Banu Qurayza, then they can announce among people. It was of course a very good advice of the Prophet ﷺ to them. When they went there, they found that it was true. So they came and informed the Prophet, which really made him worried and made him concerned too much. The situation became more critical because the back of Muslims were to Banu Qurayza. If they attack from the back, it will be very difficult to defend. And Muslim women and children were exposed to attack from between the two foes. Huge army in front, and now Banu Qurayza going to fight Muslims from the rear, from the back. Anyhow, Allah had promised his messenger in the beginning that he is going to protect him and he is going to make his religion victorious. In this grim situation, the Prophet was very much worried after this news of the treachery of Banu Qurayza, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created something that led to the conflict between the enemies of Islam. A man called Nu'aym bin Mas'ud from the tribe of Ghatfan, who had become Muslim but had hidden in Islam from his people. He came to the Prophet and said that, tell me what to do. Tell me something which I can do for the benefit of Muslims and for the welfare of Islam. The Prophet told him to set the enemies at odds, made discord go between them. Then he asked that, well, am I allowed to tell lie? The Prophet said, say what you want to say to draw them off from us, for this is war, wal harabu khud'atun. War is deception. So he moved between Ghatfan and Quraysh. He managed to incite each party to let others down. He went first to Banu Qurayza, who welcomed him very much because they knew him before, offered him food and drink, and he said to them that, look, I have not come to eat and drink, but I have come to warn you of my fears for your safety and give you my counsel. Then he proceeded to point out to them that if Quraysh and Ghatfan failed to get anything from Muslims and they withdrew, they would be left at the mercy of Muslims. They will go to their own land, their own homes, but where you are going to be? You will be left here, and Muslims will take revenge from you. Therefore, what you do, he suggested to them, that refuse to strike unless Quraysh give some of their notables as hostage to you, to stay here until the end of war. That will be a guarantee that they are not going to desert you and leave you alone. They agreed and said, Nuaym also said that, look, this what I have said to you must remain secret. Nobody should know what I have told you and what you have decided. Then he went to Abu Sufyan and told him that he had a very serious information to give him, but he wants it to be secret and he would like his name not to be exposed. The informant should not be known to the people. And then he said that the Jews regretted their breaking of the pact with Muhammad, and they sent some of their people to him, to the Prophet, and asked him that, well, we made a mistake, but would you be happy if you give you some Quraysh people as hostage to you? And Muhammad has agreed. This is what Nuaym is telling Abu Sufyan.
As a deception. As a deception.
As deception, of course. So, and similar thing he did with Ghatfan. They were, of course, very, very precarious people, Bedouins. They will accept her and they will be scared of any plot. So he is told to them as well that this is what the Jews are going to do and this is what they are planning, so there is a danger. Quraysh sent a message to Jews that tomorrow we will start, send you strike from the back. Jews said that we can't do it because tomorrow is Sabbath, we can't fight on Sabbath. And then they ask them to send hostages. They say, no, there is a danger, we are scared of being left deserted by you. So what we do, what we want, send us some people who will remain with us as a guarantee that we are not going to be deserted. Quraysh immediately believed that what Nuaym was saying is true. They, of course, did not agree to send hostages and ask Jews to attack. They did not agree. They couldn't. Nuaym's scheme proved to be successful, and a state of distrust and suspicion among the disbelieving allies prevailed and brought their morale down to a considerable degree. The Prophet, of course, being so much worried, he prayed to Allah, Allahumma munzil al-kitab sari al-hisab ihzimhum. O Allah, the revealer of the book and swift caller to account, defeat these confederates. He prayed to Allah, pleaded to him, asking him to defeat these people who have come to crush his religion and his messenger. The Muslims also prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asked him to help them in this serious condition. Allah, the most powerful, responded to their call. The difference and disagreement among their people shook their confidence, Besides, Allah released the forces of nature against them. Wind, rain, cold against them. The night fell and a storm raged over the plain. The wind reached the hurricane force and the tents were blown down and vessels overturned. The Prophet sent someone to find out what is going on in the camp of the enemy. They brought good news. They brought that they are preparing to leave. They cannot stay anymore. The Prophet was very happy, and the enemy left in the night, and the desert was clear of them. The Prophet declared there, from today they will not be able to attack us, but rather we will launch attack on them. We will march against them.
One question: how long was this whole period between them arriving and them leaving?
I mean, about 1 month.
Right.
The siege was about 1 month.
And Banu Qurayza, their suspicion against them, that was in the beginning?
No. Of course, the Muslims always suspected them. But they thought that Qurayza will not cheat them this time.
Right.
Because they showed, kind of loyalty. And they tried to do it.
But their danger, when it became apparent that these people will attack us from behind, when was that?
It's in the middle, because of course the Hoy is trying to persuade the chief of Qurayza. It must have taken some time, a week, 10 days, something like that.
Right.
And at the end he agreed, and that was the very serious matter which made Muslim afraid and scared. And the danger came that they may attack from behind.
And disappointed.
And then at that time Noaim appeared on the scene and he played his role.
But with Banu Qurayza, did they attack Muslims?
No, they couldn't. They said that no, Quraysh asked that tomorrow we are going to fight. So you strike from the back and we will try from here. They said no, tomorrow is Sabbath, our holy day, we can't. And then also immediately they demanded the hostages.
Right.
So Quraysh, of course, was not going to surrender any of the people, any of their men to them.
Yeah.
And no fighting started. There was no fighting in such a serious situation, such a serious arrangement of war, preparation of war. No fighting was done.
But the point that Banu Qurayza and Quraysh were negotiating, that was...
Yes, but even the men there, not Quraysh directly were involved, but it was the chief of Banu Nadir who was trying to persuade this Banu Qurayza to join with Quraysh to crush Muslims, because he was after gaining back his land, his area, his house. Then of course it was finished. They had gone. Allah has described the situation in Surah number 33, that the situation was so grim that even many Muslims started feeling that we have been trapped. We don't know what to do. And some of them felt, some munafiqeen, hypocrites, said that Allah and His Messenger, they only deceived us. Their promise was nothing but deception. So, only good people, of course, they had their faith and loyalty to the Prophet, but the others, lukewarm people, they started feeling scared. I don't know what was the role of Abdullah ibn Ubay in all this situation. Anyhow, Muslims were on watch. Quran mentions that many of them sought permission of the Prophet on excuse that my house is very vulnerable, so let me go and defend it. Allah says that it was not like that. Their houses were safe, but they wanted just to run away from the battlefield. So they played all kind of tricks just to get out of the war, but they did not join Qurayza, they did not go there, they did not have anything to do with Quraysh as far as we know. Now another thing also you must remember, that Ghatfan, the Bedouin tribe, they were very restless. They were told that within 15 days everything will be over and you will get half of the harvest of Khaybar, as the man has promised. And now they ran short of food. Now there is no any sign that they will be able to defeat Muslims, and Ghatfan will be able to get their reward. Well, the enemy could not achieve their goal and they left the battlefield in a very frustrated and dismayed situation. And as the Prophet said that this is the last opportunity for Quraysh, this is the last attempt by Quraysh to attack Medina. Now they will never dare to come to the city, but we will be launching attack on them. When the battlefield was clear, the Bedouins and Quraysh, they were gone. So Prophet ﷺ stayed for about a few hours. Then Jibril came and said that, well, you have laid down your weapons, but angels have not done it, because we have to go to Qurayza and teach them a lesson. So the Prophet announced that nobody should do Asr prayer except in Qurayza. We have to rush, to hurry and then surround them. So they were surrounded. Now again, Huwai could not bring any man from Banu Nadir or from any side. They were left alone, sieged by Muslim army. For 25 days they stayed in their fortresses, besieged by Muslims, and didn't know what to do. After that they decided to accept and surrender to the Prophet ﷺ. Then Aus tribe, who was in kind of alliance with Banu Qurayza. Remember, Banu Nadir were in alliance with Khazraj, where Abdullah ibn Ubay worked for their safety, to save their lives. Now here is Aus. So Aus also felt, and they pleaded to the Prophet that some leniency should be adopted. And then the Prophet asked Jews whom they would like to come and arbitrate or decide their case. They chose Sa'd ibn Mu'az, the one who was very badly injured. You know, the artery was cut and the bleeding did not stop. So he came on a donkey. The Prophet asked his people to support him, to come down, and then he decided that all the able-bodied male who are able to fight should be killed.
Right.
Their women and children should be taken captive, and their property should be taken as booty. So Prophet was very happy. It was not a decision by Prophet. It was a decision by a man who was allied to them, but he endorsed the decision of Sa'd and said that Sa'd judged by the command of Allah. It is something which Allah put in his mind and he decided like that. So it was done. Huwai ibn Akhtab also was arrested, his hand tied, and he was brought to be killed. And there is saying that Prophet asked him to become Muslim. I said, never, I cannot accept Islam at all. And then he was beheaded and thrown into ditch. Sa'd after that died. His prayer was answered, that Allah kept him alive until the end of war and until Banu Qurayza reached their fate. They got their fate at his hand. So when he died, the Prophet said that Allah's throne has been shaken by the death of Sa'd ibn Mu'az. He was a very prominent person. The Prophet said the throne of the compassionate Ar-Rahman shook for the death of Sa'd ibn Mu'az. So, of course, he was very clever and he was very powerful, notable. Remember, in the beginning Sa'd ibn Hudayr said that there is a man, if you convince him and he becomes a Muslim, then whole tribe of Aus will be Muslim. So, they went and spoke to him, and he was first very much surprised, but when Quran was read to him, he knew that this is not a speech of human being. He became Muslim and then asked his people that I am not going to speak, I am not going to do anything for you unless you follow me. So, all the tribe became Muslim after him. So, of course, he was a very influential and very good person. Now then, after these events of Trench, Ghazwatul Ahzab or the war of Confederates, number of expeditions were sent to other areas. Some Badwans were trying to attack Medina. So, the Prophet dispatched people to them, but one tragedy happened. He sent Muhammad bin Maslama to Banu Sa'laba in a place called Zul Qassa. 100 soldiers of enemy ambushed and killed all of them while they were sleeping. You know, this is how Bedouins do. So, of course, it must have been very dreadful for the Prophet. They ambushed and killed. Muhammad ibn Maslama survived. He was rescued. I don't know how he did it, but he also was very badly wounded. The Prophet immediately sent Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah to take revenge, and he reached them. He walked in the night and hid in daytime to take the enemy by surprise, but they managed to flee. They were very clever people. You know, they can smell the ground and know what is coming ahead. So, anyhow, it was a very, very sad incident. Zayd ibn Harsa was set at the head of 170 horsemen to a place called Al-Is and intercepted a caravan of Quraysh led by Abul As, the son-in-law of the Prophet. They took the goods and Abul As escaped, ran to Medina, took refuge in the house of Zainab, his wife, and then pleaded to her that to say to the Prophet that this is not my merchandise, these are things belonging to Quraysh. So, if the Prophet can ask the people who have taken it to return back to me, I can go and surrender to them. So, someone said that why don't you become Muslim? He said that if I become Muslim now, the people will think that I became Muslim because of this greed, because of this favor. No, I will go return their profit, their goods to them, and then after that I will become Muslim and come back. So, he fulfilled his promise. He went back to Makkah, gave the things, properties to their owners, and became Muslim and came back to Medina.
He became Muslim in Makkah.
Yes. And he came back to Medina. The Prophet joined the wife and husband after the separation of 2.5 years. You know, they were separated. I mean, she came, he was arrested, remember, at Badr, and his wife sent ransom which was returned. There was this necklace of Khadija, and he promised that when he goes back he would send Zainab to Medina. So, he did it. So, and from that time until now she remained in Medina and he was in Makkah. So, he came back and the Prophet joined them together. Another expedition was sent to Banul Mustaliq. It is also known as Ghazwat al-Muraisi'. Banu Mustalik, the Prophet received a news that Haris ibn Dirar, the chief of Banu Mustalik, he is planning to attack Medina. So the Prophet ordered his men to get ready, and then he himself took command and went there. Those people were so much frightened by Muslim that they ran away. Even Arabs among them, some of those people who were there, they also deserted their houses and ran. The people of tribe, someone who had their houses there, they also left. Some men of disbelievers were killed. Women and children were taken as prisoners.
Yeah.
Now this expedition was not very important, but it got its importance for two reasons. First, that in that expedition, the hypocrites wanted to create problem. They almost made Ansar and Muhajirin fight one another. Something happened between a member of immigrant and a member of helper, 1 to 1. Then each one of them called his people, Yal al Muhajirin or Yal al Ansar. Where are immigrants come, and then Ansar should come. And they came. So when the news reached to Prophet ﷺ, of course he immediately rushed and then dissolved the matter.
Yeah.
Abdullah ibn Ubay said that, look, this is what I was scared. You brought these people, accommodated them, fed them, and now they are creating problem.
Yeah.
So when we go back to Medina, as Quran has mentioned in Surah Al-Munafiqun, Surah number 63, that he said, when we go back to Medina, لَيُخْرِجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنَ الْأَذَلِ. The people of honor and respect will banish and kick out the people who are lowly, disgraceful.
Yeah.
Now he spoke to his own people. A young man heard these words and came to the Prophet and informed him. The Prophet invited Abdullah ibn Ubay, that I heard that you are saying this. He said, no, I never said anything. So this young man, he felt that he has been disgraced.
Yeah.
His tribe also said that you did not hear properly and you told the Prophet this, which was not very good. It was a very bad thing. So the boy was feeling very unhappy and felt down. Then when this verse came in the Quran, then Prophet called him and said that, no, you are telling truth. And then his spirit was raised and he became happy after that. So for this reason, Ghazwat Banul Mustaliq, of course, is famous because Allah spoke about Munafiqun and all Munafiqun were exposed. Here was a case where they were exposed, everybody knew.
They were caught.
Yeah, they caught him and they knew that they are telling lie. They are after creating confusion and discord among the Muslim community. The second thing was that in this very particular expedition, Aisha was accused. The cylinder of Aisha happened there. What happened? That when the people came to leave, Aisha had gone for the call of nature, to attend to the call of nature, went to bathroom, toilet.
Yeah.
When she came back, she discovered that the caravan has gone. And later she described the whole incident, which is reported in Bukhari's book in detail. She said that I was very light, I had not gained weight, so the people who were putting the hawdaj, where the woman stayed on the camel, they just lifted it and put it on the camel without noticing that the woman is not inside. So when she came back, still the caravan is there. Then she noticed that she has lost her necklace. That necklace she had borrowed from someone. So she went back to search for it. When she returned, then caravan has gone. She said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, and sat there. Now she put her trust in Allah, and then at the time I think it was the custom that a man after caravan leaves, he used to come and see whether there was anything, any missing article and this and that, and he saw Aisha. He recognized her because he had seen her earlier. He recognized and he knew that it was Aisha. So he brought his camel, helped her mount it, and then came to Medina. They never spoke, never exchanged any word among them. When they reached Medina, Abdullah ibn Ubay started his slander, I mean his conspiracy. But look how clever he was. He never spoke. He pushed some other people to speak. And then Aisha doesn't know anything. She was unaware of what was going inside the city. But the community was boiling and rumors were going around. It so happened that the mother of one of the men who accused Aisha, she went with Aisha outside again for this toilet business, and then she stumbled and said that woe to Mistah. So Aisha said that why you are cursing him? He is the person who attended Badr. She said, you don't know anything. She said, what? And then she told her that this is what is going on. So she felt so sad and so distressed that she fell ill. And she said that I only noted that the Prophet's attitude to me was not the same as it used to be, after that. So she asked his permission to go to her parents' house, and he allowed. The Prophet used to visit her and ask how she felt. So he came once and asked Aisha, spoke to her that look, people make mistake. If you have done anything like that, just confess it. But if you have not done, and I am positive that you have not done anything, Allah will acquit you, Allah will reveal your innocence.
I'm just looking for a verse in the Quran. It's actually related to this, but I'm listening.
Now this is in Surah number 24 from verse number 11 to 21. In detail, 10 verses. Aisha later said that I never thought, I always has trust in Allah that He is going to reveal my innocence, but I never thought that He is going to reveal in the Quran, which will be recited forever. 10 verses were there. So anyhow, when the Prophet came, anytime he visited, he will ask her how she was, and then he said once that look, if there is anything wrong, just tell me and repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there is nothing and I feel that there is nothing, then just wait, Allah will reveal your innocence. He came and he spoke like that. So she looked at her parents that they will speak, say something, but they didn't. So she took initiative. And she said that if I tell you that I am innocent, and I am, and Allah knows my innocence, you will not believe me. And if I were to admit something of which Allah knows I am innocent, you will believe me. So there is nothing for me but what Yaqub said about his son, Sabrun Jameel. For me, the patience is most fitting, and it is Allah whose help can be sought against that which you say. Wallahul musta'anu ala ma tasifun. This is ayah number 18 in Surah Yusuf, Surah number 12. Then she turned away and lay down for some rest. The burden in her chest became lighter.
Yeah.
At that moment, the revelation came and cleared her side. And the verses, of course, he spoke that the people who did it, Allah is going to give them severe punishment.
Yeah.
There were 3 people involved: Mistah ibn Uthasa, Hassan ibn Sabit, a poet, and Hamna bint Jahsh, the sister of Zainab bint Jahsh, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. Aisha said that I don't know what happened to her. Zainab never competed with me. We were not competitor, but this lady, in order to favor her sister, she accused me.
So which verse was this again?
No, this is from 24.
23.
No, I mean this. Which?
This verse about slandering women is a grievous. Because is this one here? Chapter 24 verse.
No, 24. This is from 11 to 21, as I said.
Yeah. So that's the verse.
I don't know which one number, which verse it is, but it is in between.
Yeah.
It starts. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنكُمْ لَا تَحْسَبُوهُ شَرًّا لَكُمْ. It continues. Now, these 3 people were given 80 lashes each, because in the beginning of the surah made a preamble to the situation which it described later, that anyone who slanders a chaste woman, believing chaste woman, and did not produce required witnesses, then must be given 80 lashes.
Not evidence, witnesses.
Witnesses. I mean, witness there must be. Evidence, of course, there was nothing like that. So, if they could not produce 4 witnesses, then they are to be given 80 lashes. And they are fasiq, Quran says. Their witness is not accepted at all after that. Then it made exception that if they make repentance, the real sincere one, and amend their behavior, then of course Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. Now this man Mistah ibn Usasa was related to Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr was helping him, providing him with some help, sustenance. Now when he noticed that he, the one who lived on his support, accused his daughter, he became very angry, and then he stopped his stipend, his support. Then after this, Quran spoke that the people who have been given enough resources, they should not take oath. Abu Bakr said, Wallahi, I am not going to give it. So Quran said that they should not swear by Allah to stop their help with these people. Don't they want that Allah should forgive them? Abu Bakr said, yes, of course, this is what I want. So he resumed his help to Mistah. This is how the end of his story was. For this reason, this expedition became more important. Otherwise, there was not much in it. No fighting very small and nothing like that. But because of the case of Abdullah ibn Ubay, telling lie and insulting Muslims, and because of the case of Aisha which happened.